Shut up and sit down.
Hey, welcome to the Old Stogies Uncut podcast, brought to you by the Old Stogie Company Mobile Cigar Lounge. I'm Randy.
And I'm Shane.
And we are coming to you from the Mobile Cigar Lounge. We're going to be talking a bit about whiskey,
Cigars,
a little bit of everything,
and a whole lot of nothing.
Yep, and you don't want to miss a minute of it. So find a comfortable place to sit, pour a drink, light a stick, because we're going to be coming at you. Stand by. Guys, this segment of the show was brought to you by 705 Designs. Now listen, if you're a business owner, you've got to cut through all the static of all the competitors and get your message to the right people at the right time. 705 can do that for you. There's some great people. They're going to do great work in your marketing aspect and your website aspect. You really need to go check them out. I promise you will not be disappointed. SEVENOFIVE designs.com. They produce our show. They're good folks. Check them out. 705designs.com. Hey, we're the Old Stogies, and this is the Old Stogies Uncut podcast. I'm Randy.
I'm Shane.
Hey, Shane. How the hell are you?
Wow.
Just glad to be back.
Yeah, somebody took their blood pressure medicine today. You're
That's
feeling
what I'm
pretty
talking about.
spry.
I am feeling spry. This state is opening up, and people are going back to work, and we got the Stella open, and
Not all the way open.
Not all the way open. We're getting real close, though.
Yeah.
We're getting real close. You know what the holdup is? The holdup is that the venues we take Stella to aren't
Are
open.
still shuttered.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because we love showing up at those nail salons.
absolutely, and barbershops. I mean, that's,
Yeah, well,
well,
the barbershop you need.
one of us does.
Yeah. I know. I knew that joke was coming.
The barbershop and the hair club.
Wow. When the fuck did you become Bosley? That makes you and I an angel, Curtis. Oh, two old references in one
my
right there.
goodness.
And I'm no angel.
That was awesome. Guys, we are here today. We got a great guest. He was on our radio show probably 8-9 months ago. I don't know.
Oh, I thought this was a test. We're really doing this. Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
this
we
is
can
a
keep
test.
going. No.
So, no, really, we have no guest. This was a
test. 1, 2, 1, 2, test. No, let's keep going.
Oh, okay. So, Curtis Trousdale is here with us. He is absolutely one of our best customers in the lounge. In fact, we tongue-in-cheek refer to him as our third employee.
Our highest paid employee.
Highest paid employee, no question about that. So, Curtis, man, thanks for being here.
Glad to be here with you.
Yeah, we're
Glad to have the trailer back open.
Oh yeah, so are we.
These last 2 weekends with the grab and go events have been really fun sitting out here and visiting.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It felt so good to get back to work. Sit back here in the back with a cigar and a bourbon.
Oh yeah.
I know. Those are some long hours, though.
Oh yeah. Well, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Bourbon's not going to drink itself.
It's not. It's really not.
And the Stogies aren't going to smoke themselves.
They are not, as a matter of fact.
Depends how well they're rolled. They might for a little while.
This is a true story. It is a true story. So, Curtis, you're from a little town not too far from here, and you work with the school district.
Yes, I work for Calhoun County Independent School District in Port Lavaca. I'm mostly at the high school, but I also take care of Port O'Connor Elementary on Wednesday mornings.
Okay.
Don't need a whole lot of help down there. They kind of a small school, but their equipment's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, but you're the it guy.
I'm the it guy. One of the it guys.
One of the it guys, yeah.
He just hangs out in the sewer there with the makeup on. No, that's something different.
That's something different.
All right.
That's a different it. I don't have any balloons.
Hey.
Hey, Georgie.
Don't get down on yourself. Your balloons are perfect size.
Yeah. What?
I don't know.
They don't float down here.
Oh,
Yeah, they don't float down here. Yeah.
they float down here.
What?
No, I don't know.
Only in the bath. Is that it?
I don't
All right. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know how we got there. Holy mackerel. The guy in left field is going, where'd that come from?
That sounds like our normal conversations, though.
Pretty much, yeah. Running down rabbit trails. So, anyway, glad you're here. And
Yes.
you know how we do things. We talk about bourbon, cigars, a little bit of everything, and
A whole lot of nothing. I was taking a drink. Sorry.
timed that good, didn't
right?
I?
Yeah, I almost choked on it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't help you with the bourbon so much anymore since I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
When I did drink, bourbon was my drink.
Cool.
But now I stick to my root beers.
Nice. And what's your brand of choice?
My actual brand of choice is Hank's Premium Philadelphia root beer, but down here it's hard to get, so I drink St. Arnold's root beer. It's a very smooth root beer. The brewery's out of Houston,
Nice.
and they keep it on tap at one of the places we go to in Port Lavaca, and
Yeah.
I get it at bottles in a couple of places here. One of them y'all show up at regularly.
Yep. Well, cool.
We're not going to name them. We're not. We're
Go ahead, name 'em.
You,
Okay, O'Neill's in Port Lavaca,
Yeah.
and
Great
Aerocrafters
people.
here in Victoria.
Yeah.
Great people too.
Great people.
Very
Can't
good
wait for both of those places to be back open.
Yeah, I know.
I know Patrick and Andrea are really looking forward to it being open again.
Yeah, I bet they are. So,
So what do you got against A&W while we're at the whole root beer conversation?
Yeah.
What do
Say
you got
that?
against A&W?
A&W is a decent root beer. I prefer the premium root beers. Most of the commercial root beers have the taste is just not as smooth as
But A&W has been around since what, the late 40s?
the-
When they
okay,
started their
Don't
drive
get me
ups?
lying.
they've got a really good root beer. But
No, I'm just saying they didn't start off as commercial.
no, they didn't.
I'm sorry, I'm sidetracking this whole thing. We're talking
Well-
about the history of A&W root beer. I'm sorry.
I kind of like the premium root beers. They're generally made more with a pure cane sugar
Yeah.
instead of some of the artificial sweeteners.
Good.
They've got a little bit different recipes depending on the brewery that's making them, whether it's Virgil's, St. Arnold's, Hank's, or some of the others that are around.
Yeah.
And they pair a little bit better, it seems like, with a cigar than what Dad's, Hires, A&W, any of those commercial root beers do.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. And,
Or
and
more commercial.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What are you smoking with the A&W there?
Today-
excuse me, with the
Not with
Say,
the,
oh, okay.
with
Y'all
the
said
St. Arnold's.
A&W too
yeah.
many times with the St. Arnold's. Yeah.
Today it's a Southern Draw Rose of Sharon.
Great cigar.
Good, very good cigar. Started to wear a pink shirt to go with it, but
Yeah.
I figured that'd be too much pink for Shane.
Yeah, too much pink. Too much pink. Yes, when we first got those cigars, I was a bit sexist about it. I didn't want to smoke a cigar with a pink band.
Yeah.
And then I tried one with
Yep.
the band off and realized, wow, I really like those.
Yeah.
So
Well, I noticed
still
now
I
you-
still smoke them a lot. I
Yeah.
just take the band off.
Oh, okay. And so what have you got there now?
I have that Ignite. Same thing you're smoking.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you asked me.
Well,
I mean,
I-
you knew
Because it's a
You-
filler.
you were there when I picked it out. I'm just saying.
I know. It's the Navy SEAL Foundation Ignite cigar by Southern Draw, and the proceeds from that go to the Navy SEAL Foundation. So
Okay.
very worthy cause and great company, Southern Draw.
And this one is actually a variation of the Rose of Sharon.
It is a variation of the Rose of Sharon.
So,
So they came out with the Rose of Sharon, and then they morphed a little bit into the Desert Rose,
correct.
which is a beautiful cigar. I think I actually like that one a little more. It's got maybe a little more spice, a
A
little more
bit
flavor
more
to
spice,
it.
a little more flavor.
I like
Right.
it, and then they went
Real
with the
quick
Ignites.
question.
Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly and all that.
Okay.
I have a question because you're more knowledgeable about the Rose of Sharon's than I am. That Desert Rose, does it come in different sizes?
The Desert Rose? I don't think it does. I think it's a one size. I
See,
think
that-
it's the
that's-
Bellissimo.
It's a
isn't
single
it?
vitola.
Yeah.
I mean-
All of their specialties that they put out, whether it's the Desert Rose, the Kudzu Lustrum,
Mhm.
or the Jacob's Ladder Brimstone, they put them out in one vitola, just one
Yeah.
size.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking a very, very minor complaint. I wish that the Desert Rose was a little bit bigger so I could enjoy it longer.
Oh,
I
true,
mean,
true.
That would be my only.
Yeah.
But it's
I
a
would like to see
fabulous
it
cigar.
in a Toro, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe even a Gordo.
Yeah.
Just to get a little more smoke out of it.
Gordo would be great just
Yeah.
because I like to smoke a big cigar on the golf course. you
Yeah,
know. I don't
yeah.
want to have to, have 2 or 3 cigars on the golf course. I like to have just one. So Gordo's good size to go with.
Oh, absolutely. Like the Firethorns.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I love the Firethorns just for golfing, just because.
Yeah.
What's that joke I always tell? You light it up on tee box number 2 and you put it out in the parking lot.
Yep.
So
Yep. There you go. And yeah, it's a great cigar also. Yeah, a little more body to it than the Rose, but definitely like the Rose. So
And
Curtis.
there's our commercial. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And scene. Now, Curtis, tell us about your history with cigars. When did you first start smoking cigars?
In high school, I was a cigarette smoker. I'd started
Me too.
because of some injuries and stuff. I'd been run over by a bus, and being in and around the hospital, I had a lot of nervous tendencies, and I was smoking cigars. And I decided one weekend, or one afternoon rather, that I would have a cigar instead to try to break it up and trying to get off the cigarettes.
Right.
So what?
And-
Now I got a question. What was that cigar? We're not talking one of the Swisher Sweets with a tip, are we?
No, it wasn't a tip. It was the Swisher Sweet Perfecto.
Yeah. I think everybody
Oh.
starts with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
But Mom walked in the house when she got home from work and went, "Oh my heavens, if you're going to smoke something, at least smoke a pipe. They smell better." Because she couldn't stand the smell of the cheap cigars.
Right. Yeah.
She wasn't used to being around anything that was a more of a actual cigar. She was used to the cheap crap
Right.
and being around that.
Yeah.
And whether it be the old, have a Tampa or
Mhm. We have a couple of boxes, not
White
of the
Owls
cigars, but
and stuff like that. Well, she grew up with her uncles smoking them.
Yeah.
So she was used to being around them, but she never liked the smell of them. So
Right.
I got off on smoking a pipe for years, and then finally went back to cigars.
Yeah.
But I started playing an online game and got in on the beta for it. And then the company that was making it,
wait, we're still talking high school, right?
no, this was many, many years later.
I was going to say
Okay.
online game
I was
at
fixing
your age.
I was fixing to give the year that it started. So,
Okay, yeah.
You just got a little ahead of me there.
I know. I caught
The beta
that.
for it started in 2004, and I got into the beta.
Okay.
The game launched in 2005.
Nice. What was the game?
The game was called City of Heroes. It was
I've heard of it.
an online game, kind
Yeah.
of like World of Warcraft and some of the others, but you were being a superhero, which
Right.
that falls in with a lot of my other interests.
Yes.
You're
was
gonna
a
look
very
that
big
up,
comic
aren't you,
book
Randy?
reader when I was
yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
I've
You
looked
can look that
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
And just being able to create my own superhero and
Yeah.
play it was a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah.
But they started having little events in Austin, which was where the publishing studio was, and in California, where the developers were,
Mm-hmm.
of little meet and greets. And you could meet some of the developers and ask them questions. They'd give you
Nice.
some hints about stuff coming up.
Yeah.
And meeting other players from all over the country. And we even had some from out of the country come a couple of times. But one of the guys I got hanging around with that played on the same server that I did, that we played together occasionally,
Yeah.
would always bring cigars.
Nice.
And he would always offer to the rest of us. And so I'd join him for a smoke. Well, it got to where that every year, whenever we went out, which that started happening every year
Yeah.
that they started doing those, John would always bring cigars. I'd get a cigar from him. We'd sit and smoke, have a couple of drinks, which I was still drinking back then occasionally,
Yeah.
and just sit and enjoy ourselves. And it was always pleasant.
Yeah.
And then the game got canceled.
Oh.
So I didn't,
Oh.
in 2012, I didn't get to see John again.
Wow.
But we kept in touch online through Facebook with
Yeah.
several other players. But I made a trip a few years ago to Vegas and celebrating my birthday, but I made it a road trip, visiting family along the way,
Yeah.
stopped at the Grand Canyon for a couple of nights, 3 nights in Vegas celebrating my birthday, and then I went to San Diego.
Yeah.
Well, that was where John lived. I was trying to get a hold of an uncle out there, but I had his phone number transposed, so I started trying to get a hold of John, and I knew the cigar lounge he hung out at the most. And so I looked it up, and I drove through the parking lot and drove through the parking lot and drove through the parking lot and drove through the parking lot.
No
Never
parking
could
spaces?
find it.
No parking spaces?
No, I couldn't
No.
find the store. I could find parking spots, but I just could not find the store in the lot.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, they've got another location that's downtown in Old Town is what they call it, the old part of San Diego.
Okay.
So I drove down to it, and I went in, and I'm kind of looking around, and one of the guys came up and asked me, said, can I help you with anything? I said, well, not really sure what I'm looking for. A friend of mine generally brings the cigars, and I was trying to find him, but I went up and couldn't find the other location driving through the parking lot, so I'm really not sure what I'm wanting. And he said, well, I go up, used to hang out at the other store quite a bit. Maybe I know him. And I said, well, his name's John Ganong. And he said, what would a John Ganong recommend? Let's see. Why don't we step out on the patio and ask him?
Oh, nice.
John happened to be sitting there. He had gotten off work, and rather than fight the traffic that time of day, he decided he was going to stop at the closer location to his office
There you go.
and have a cigar and a drink
Yeah.
before heading home, rather than drive all the way across town to the other location.
Yeah.
The other location being out at Miramar. So I went out and I stood there and I walked up and started talking to John, and he just kept giving me these blank looks. And finally I said, John, you act like you really don't know who you're talking to. And he said, well, I don't know you. And I said, would you recognize the name Texas Justice instead? And he looked at me and went, holy shit, TJ. And so we sat there and talked for several hours, got a couple of cigars. He was the one that turned me on to root beer with the cigars.
Yeah.
They carried the Hanks out there, so he introduced me to it. And I brought several cigars home with me, and I've been smoking them since then.
Yeah.
But
Nice. That's
yeah,
cool.
it was a pretty fun evening. Interesting way to run across him.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to watch Shane's head explode here. that game you used to play was an MMORPG. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
GTF OH.
No.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Oh,
Yes.
mine was get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
I mean, if we're just, yeah.
See, when you have a son that animates video games, you learn to pick up all the initials.
Well,
Yeah,
and
so-
that, and I think you knew
I-
what MMORPGs were
I
even
did.
before your
Even
son got
before.
into it.
No, he
Yeah.
didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah,
See-
at Comic-Con. Yeah.
I have to say
No,
something
he
here, and
didn't.
that's
No.
whenever we get to discussing things in the lounge, when it gets off on the geeky stuff and the movies and superheroes and stuff,
Which is more often than it should.
No.
Shay
not
just
me
kind of
often
tunes out
enough.
and goes off into his own little world,
Yeah,
and
he
Randy
does.
and I visit.
Yeah.
And then whenever it gets off onto sports,
Yeah.
Hey, here
Randy's
I am.
off in La La Land, and Shane and I are just having
Shane
a
and
good
I
conversation.
Tag out, and
Yeah.
it's all
Here
Yeah.
I am. Hey.
Yeah, because
Just air tags mostly. But,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, social distancing.
but
And,
I have a little
I mean,
bit.
not then.
I have a little bit in common with both of you,
Yeah.
aside
Yeah.
from just the cigars. So,
Yeah.
and we can all converse pretty well on most subjects.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's one of the fun things in the lounge is people with all kinds of ideologies and all getting together. And I've never seen an argument
Yeah.
actually in a
Yeah.
cigar lounge. I've heard some good discussions
Yep.
with people bringing out opposing views,
Yep.
not just here, but in other cigar lounges.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anybody get into a yelling match or anything else. It's just
Oh, Randy and I have.
been
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
no, not what I
Mostly when we built it.
Yeah,
Oh,
mostly
well,
when we
now
built it.
that's a different. That's a little bit different animal.
Yeah,
but when
it
you're
is.
just sitting around with other people having conversations and smoking cigars,
Yeah.
even when you disagree, you stay agreeable,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and that's always the best
Now,
kind of discourse.
I will be 100% honest with you. No, we have not had like a flat out argument
No.
in the lounge.
No.
Now,
no,
I
we've not.
can guarantee you I have pissed off several people in the lounge.
Oh well, that's a given.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a given.
Because I kinda
Always
do it
gonna
for
piss
fun.
somebody off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to say things just to get a reaction.
Yeah, you like to bait people, and you're a
Yeah.
master at it.
Yeah. I'm a master.
Later.
But
Wait, I don't understand the joke. Go ahead. Is that a masturbation joke?
no,
Is it?
shh,
Is
quiet.
it? No, I mean, I don't get it. Explain it, Randy.
I'm thinking you do.
I'm going to have to act like a dictator here and just
Oh.
cut you guys off.
Oh,
I know you're supposed to be uncut, but I'm going to cut you off on that one.
very
Wow.
good. Very good. But
The
no, our philosophy
Dad
in the
jokes are
lounge-
alive
they
today.
are alive. The return of the dad jokes. That was kind of the philosophy when we built this thing, is that
Mhm.
people can talk about anything they want to in here and have a lively discussion, but there will be no arguments.
Right.
And
And I think that's kind of an unwritten rule on
Yeah.
most cigar lounges.
yeah, well, it runs contrary to the aura of the cigar,
True.
Right.
which is a relaxation.
Relaxation.
It's an enjoyment. And then
Well, and that's how we set up this whole lounge. I
It
mean,
is, it
it's a
is.
place to relax,
yeah, it's
have a drink, have a cigar, enjoy the experience,
kind
and
of the philosophy of the whole business.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I've
So-
even been in some where they've got football games going,
yeah.
and two people at different tables there that are rooting for both the opposite teams,
Yeah.
and they'd do some ribbing with each other and all, but never seen them get any kind of overtly loud or rude with each other.
Yeah. No, I got you. I got
Even
you.
though they were dead set against the other team,
Yeah.
it was still a camaraderie
Yes.
with the smoking.
It was.
And that's
yeah.
the way it is in most lounges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. Listen, my glass is empty.
Mine
Uh-oh.
too.
Let's-
I can't believe we waited this long.
I know myself. Let's take a break. We're going to be right back with more Curtis. You guys hang in there. See you in a minute.
Welcome back. We're the old Stogies, and I'm Randithy and Shane Anigans.
Not a thing.
Oh, it's totally a
it's
thing.
not a
It
thing.
is a
Shenanigans
thing.
is totally
No,
a thing. I'm
Randithy
just
is a
saying-
thing.
We know
Well,
Shane
I don't know,
Anigans is a thing because Zachary Grant even said it on his Quarantunes last Friday night.
He did. Well done, Zachary Grant.
I can't make fun of Zach. I mean,
No, you can't.
No, you
I could
cannot.
say something derogatory, but I'm not gonna. I really
Don't
like the
do it,
guy.
'cause
I
he's a great
really
guy.
like the guy.
Yeah, he is literally the nicest person I've ever met. Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy.
Well, that hurt.
Well,
Hey, I've been
Okay,
around you
you're-
enough. I can understand why he's saying that Zachary's a little bit nicer guy than you.
yeah, you're like number 8.
We share the same haircut, so I
You
do like that.
share the same haircut.
I'm not sure if it's for the same reasons.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Mine's a style issue. That's is that what you meant?
that what they call it now?
That's what you meant, right?
Oh, you mean rather
He
than
does it because he has to. I do it because I want to.
Oh,
I
see.
thought
I
it
think,
was the other
I
way
think is
around.
what Curtis is trying to get at.
I thought it was
I'm
the other way
kidding
around.
so much, Zach. Thank you.
Unlike whenever I did it, that it was a conscious choice to shave my head.
Yeah.
I saw that picture. I think the whole Breaking Bad was based on that photo. I mean,
I've seen the photo. I kind of have to agree with you.
That's
I'm
been
gonna
quite
call
a while
you-
ago. That was in
I'm going to call you Walter from here on
97,
out.
90, no, 98 or 99, I guess it was.
Okay, all right.
Got rid of the hair, and about a month later, I figured out what I needed to actually change in my life, and I got rid of her.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I think he mispronounced hair.
Oh,
he said her.
Her, yeah. Yeah, I
Her.
gotcha. Her.
It's South Texas.
It is South
It's
Texas.
her.
You never know.
Her.
Yeah.
And Jeanette, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Yes, we are back. Thank you, Curtis, for bringing us back in from the break. We've got full glasses and still some cigar left, so we're going to push on. So, Curtis, talk about your experience with cigars now, because I know you do a lot of like Cigar Bid.
Cigar Bid was a really nice site that Tomas Rendon turned us on to.
Yeah. Hey, Tomas, how's it going?
He's going to be having another get-together tomorrow night. I noticed he tagged you in an invite to it. But
Yes.
Shane
Big
wasn't
T
invited.
Smoke Shack.
Shane wasn't
Big T Smoke Shack.
invited. I don't know.
Shane didn't get an invitation. I don't know if you're not friends with
You
Tomas.
can come
I
as
think-
my guest if
I think
you
there's a
want.
height requirement. That's why I can't
Maybe
make
so.
it.
Could be.
I don't know how you got in, but I'm just saying.
I photograph at a low angle, so it
Yeah.
makes me look taller.
Yeah.
That's what
I
it
think
is.
4'8" is below the height requirement.
Yeah.
I just missed it.
Just missed it. What was the old Get Smart? Missed it by that,
That
much.
What's that old movie? Just a bit outside.
Major League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Bob Euchre.
Yeah,
Bob
gotcha.
Euchre.
There we go on sports again, but we also got it into movies, which
Yeah,
that
we did.
catches
We
both
did.
of
Catches
our
both, yeah.
catches all three of us.
Well done, guys. Well done.
All right, a couple of things. I think we were going to talk briefly about. Curtis told his story about the first time that he had a
How
cigar.
he got into cigars? Yeah.
Yeah.
So hold on to the cigar bid for just a minute,
Okay.
and
No,
Shane,
you tell your story.
You tell your story.
You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
All right. So
Great
grew up
story,
in Iowa.
bro.
I'm
No.
sure it
No, go
involves
ahead.
shenanigans.
And that's how it happened.
That's
I just edited all that.
That's the way it was.
No, I'd been smoking for years. I've been sneaking my mom's cigarettes. She had Winston's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'd
What
take
did your kindergarten teacher say about that?
she borrowed them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we had smoke breaks together.
Oh, nice.
I didn't nap. I just went out and had a cigarette
Yeah, had
with
a
the teacher.
smoke, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, my dad found out. My mom kind of knew I smoked, but my
Yeah.
dad found out. I was like 16. I'm like getting ready to run out of the house. You know, I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm gonna go hang out with my buddies. He's like, found out you've been smoking. I'm like, huh?
Huh?
He's like, yeah. So he tried to do that whole typical leave it to Beaver father thing. He's like, I got a cigar right here. You're going to sit down. You're going to smoke this. I'm going to teach you that smoking's bad. I'm like, all
your
right.
mom came in and said, Ward, don't make him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, don't be so hard on the Beaver. But yeah, so he pulls his cigar out. So I light that thing up, and I mean, we're talking. It's a Robusto, but it's a little bit longer. It's like a Churchill.
Okay.
You know.
Churchill and Robusto. It's a lot
That's
of
a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying it was Robusto.
About a foot and a half.
Yeah,
Robusto
Robusto
is the-
ring,
Okay.
but a
it's
little
like
bit longer.
About a 54, but like a Lonsdale or a Churchill. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
I didn't know that then. It's just like, hey, it's a cigar.
Hey.
So, didn't have a tip on it. Wasn't a Swisher Sweet,
Okay.
Curtis.
Mine didn't have a tip.
Huh?
Mine didn't have a tip. It was
Just the tip?
no.
All right. Anyway, I lit that thing up, and I mean, I've been smoking for years at this point, you know. So I'm doing like French inhales and blowing smoke rings, and my dad's just getting angrier by the moment. And I'm like, how long do we have to do this? I'm about like halfway through it. I'm like, how long do we have to do this? He's like, just get the fuck out of here. I'm done with this. Just get out of here. And I'm like, fine. So I get out and I walk out the door, and of course I have the cigar with me. I was taking it with me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I get all the way out, and I'm standing on the porch. I take one more drag off that thing, and I'm like, wait. Stick my head back in. I'm like, you got any more of these for like Donald and Larry? I mean, he's like, just get out. I'm like, okay. So that was my first experience with the cigar.
Wow, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
16 years old. I was forced to smoke it.
Yeah, forced.
Forced.
Yeah.
No, my dad said, yeah, smoke this. You're going to turn green. You're going to throw up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's doing
yeah.
the cool dad thing. No, I didn't.
Forced. Curtis, cue the violin music. Yeah. See, I've only been smoking cigars for probably about 5 years. And I had a photographer friend that wherever he went would have cigars. It's not Connor. It's another guy. I'm like,
Nobody asked that question.
well, no, but I mean, you know, photographers, cigars. I just assumed
Nobody
that-
in this room went, was it Connor?
It was a guy. I know.
I'm just saying.
No.
You're offering up extra information that nobody cared about.
True.
Connor, we love you, but I'm just saying nobody asked if
Yeah,
it was
true,
Connor. or
true.
not.
But I'm like, dude, it was actually on a cruise, and I said, dude, I want to get together with you one of the evenings after dinner and sit down and have a cigar, and you can teach me a little about cigars. And he's like, okay. Well, 7-day cruise, he never did. So I just kind of started experimenting on my own, and
And a lot of this sounds very sexual.
no.
I want to get with you. I want to experience stuff with you. He never contacted
you
me back, so I started experimenting on my own.
No, stop. It was no. We're talking cigars, and
Yeah.
that's not a metaphor.
Oh, it's a euphemism.
It's
That's
not.
what it
Cigar
is.
is just a
It's
cigar.
neither. So, and then I figured out what. Never mind. The story's ruined.
No, go ahead. No, I'm
No,
interested
no.
now.
I'm done.
You're done.
This was in college. It was late night. You had way too many,
No,
Martini and Rosti Spumantis,
Asti Spumante.
Auntie Spumante.
Oh gosh, that's a Colt 45. Says.
Boone's Farm. Yeah. MD 2020.
And here we are in Mad Dog territory.
Yeah, we are.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's been that kind of year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Mad Dog 2020.
If I didn't think one of my best friends would kill me for telling the story, I have a great story about Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donald,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're listening.
He needs to be.
You need
Yeah.
to be if you're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Donald, we need your okay to hear that story because we really got to hear the Mad Dog story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
anyway, no, continue on with yours.
No, that was it. Then I started smoking cigars. The end. So
Well, when I met you, you were smoking cigars,
yeah,
which
yeah.
was like, what, 5 years ago?
maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
around there. So, I mean,
Yeah.
so you had just started.
I had pretty much just started. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not making fun of you. When we started first hanging out, the only thing you would smoke would be a Connecticut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nowadays, I mean, you kind of lean into the Habanos, maybe a little bit of the darker cigars, but not very often.
Maybe a little bit the Camacho Carrillos.
Yeah,
are nice.
you're scared to death of that Jacob's Ladder, though,
Oh,
aren't
Jacob's
you?
Ladder. I wouldn't smoke on a dare. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
one
for
of those-
experienced guys. Yeah.
I
No,
finally
that's
got-
one of those when I'm going to smoke it, I want to be sitting down and not going anywhere for a while because that one's going to kick my butt.
That's a four.
Absolutely.
You know, we do rate cigars
Yes.
here based on bourbons. They're like, how long does it take to smoke the cigar? We get that
About
question a
4
lot.
bourbons.
And Randy will like, hey, it's like a 30-minute, 40-minute cigar. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's a 2 bourbon.
Yeah.
You know, you get to that Jacob's Ladder, it's like, no, that's a 4 bourbon.
That's
Stay
a
home.
bourbon cigar. Yeah,
Stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I do like about the brimstone version of the Jacob's Ladder is it's not as heavy and it's got a little bit better flavor to me.
That's what Shane was saying.
Yes.
That
I think so too.
he almost prefers it.
Now,
better.
y'all were talking about the ignites that you're smoking. The first ignites that they came out with were the top rung, which is I think it's kind of a long panatella, if I remember
Really?
right.
Wow.
That it's the long, slender, it's a version of the Jacob's Ladder.
Okay.
And it's not as heavy. I have tried those quite a bit.
really.
Picking them up in cigar shops in
Yeah.
Houston,
Yeah.
which I'm in Houston quite a bit. I'm in Austin off and on.
Yeah.
And one of the chains that cigar shops I stop in regularly, and I've gone so far as to drive from store to store in Houston looking for particular cigars.
Okay. Yeah.
For example, the Brimstones, the Lustrums, and the Desert Rose,
Yeah.
whenever those came out.
Yeah.
I drove
Yeah.
around one day looking for them, and I wound up having to hit all 4 locations in Houston of that same shop
Yeah.
to find all of them.
I do know of a place that you can get them from now.
Yes, thankfully I have a place I can get those now.
I think
And that's
you know the name I'm talking about.
oldstogycompany.com.
Yes, oldstogycompany.com. Thank
Yeah,
you, Curtis, for
exactly.
that plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
And
it. That's
I've
it.
got mine that I just ordered. They
Yeah.
came in.
Guys, I'd like to point out, if nobody's caught this yet, Curtis has a really great radio voice.
He does have
right?
a really great radio.
I did
Right?
did radio in the early
give
days
it-
of college.
Give
Yeah.
us a little bit of that
Give us
radio, voice.
Oh.
Give us a commercial for Old Stogie here.
Oh, commercial for Old Stogie
Oh,
Company.
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Radio
just off the
voice,
top
yeah.
of your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, off the top of my head is not the best way to do a commercial because then I just wander around through the different fields. But come on out and enjoy a pleasant smoke, great conversation, great company. Out sitting in Stella Stogie, sitting around with Randothy and Shane Anigans and the rest of the crew.
Now, I know this to be a fact because we've sat around a lot and talked. Now give us your Titty Club DJ voice.
Well, it was pretty much the same thing. And if did have to keep reminding people that tipping was not a place in China.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See, Shane gets all upset when I use my radio voice.
Stop.
Yeah, I've seen him do that, but I've also seen you do that in the middle of an event someplace that you
Yes.
just break out in the radio voice.
In the radio voice, yes.
But that comes from some of your
My
theater
hands
background
never
too.
leave my arms. I'm like, I don't
Oh
understand
no, we're
that
not
one.
going into the magic show.
KSTG, Stogie Radio.
Cool.
I thought it would be KOSC for Old Stogie Company.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's good. Yeah, KOSC. I like that.
Oh, I haven't been recording
first-
any of this.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
come
You got to be
on.
kidding.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay,
Go ahead.
messing with me. Yeah,
The
that's
first radio station I worked at was in Port Lavaca, and the original station name was KGUL, which started as an AM station.
good. Mhm.
By the time that I had started working there, the
Kuggle?
AM side,
K-Gull,
K-Gull,
Kuggle.
like seagulls.
like Gulf, Seagull.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
But by the
Kuggle.
time I had started working there, they had become
Isn't that
a
an
Spanish
exercise that you do, that women
music
do?
station.
No, that's a Kegel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We don't get into Kegels. No.
No.
Whenever
I
I first
stumped him.
you just broke my train of thought there, but Shortly
that's my
after I
job.
started
I don't know
working
if
there,
anybody's listening. That's
And
my
you
job in
excel
the
at
show.
it. You excel.
Thank you.
do excel at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like the day that you got Randy to where he couldn't talk for several minutes. But
Oh, yeah.
That has never happened.
oh,
Wow.
now wait a minute! I've heard it on one of the early episodes where Randy just broke up in the middle of it.
Oh no, he yeah, all right, laughing, but I mean
Yeah,
he's still making noises.
Well, he was making noises, but nothing intelligible.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it's the
then again,
gasping
that's
for
kind
air
of
noise.
Randy.
Yeah.
Most of the time is nothing intelligible.
Ooh.
Thank you
But
very much. Thank you very much.
After I'd been there almost a year, we
Thank
did a
you from
frequency
old
change,
company Stogie.
and when we changed frequencies, we also changed the call letters of the station
Yeah.
to KAOC, which was Album Oriented Country.
Oh, how about that?
So whenever
Cock.
I hear, whenever I hear a radio call sign,
Pay no
I
attention.
start
Pay no attention.
we pay no attention to the little short man in the corner. Yeah, I know.
Well, that could be either one of us.
Well, you're not as short as he is, just a little older,
Yes.
Ooh.
and you are
Ooh.
older than I am,
Wow.
so I can say
Ooh,
that.
Ow. Oh.
You give it another year, I'll be taller because the osteoporosis will take you down another
Well,
inch.
and I know it will because I was 5'11" and 3/4 when I graduated high school, and I am now 5'9".
Wow.
And I know that because I was surprised when I went in for a liver transplant evaluation,
Yeah.
and they started doing all the height and weight and all these different types of tests and everything and all the measurements, and I'm arguing with them about the height.
Yeah.
And they're pulling it out and they're showing me that that's exactly where I'm at.
Wow.
I still didn't believe them, so I waited till I got back to school and went out to the trainer's office and I said, okay, I need you to measure me. Sure enough, I was 5'9".
Which, if you walked into my office and just yelled, measure me, it'd scare the crap out of me.
Well, Parker knew me pretty well, our head trainer, and he knew a little bit, not a whole lot about what I was going through. I kind of kept a lot of it quiet at the time.
Yeah.
I was still dealing with some stuff when I first got the news because there was some liver cancer involved.
Yeah.
And the cancer kind of had me off my guard, but I talked to some people about the cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah.
It was caused by hepatitis C.
Yeah.
And drinking is not the way you get hepatitis C most of the time,
Right.
although that's what most people associate it with.
Right.
The
It's
most
from-
common way to get it is from hepatitis C.
I thought it was toilet seats.
No,
No.
that's chlamydia.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Kale? Are you listening,
We
Kale?
need you, Kale.
Yeah. You're
But-
not allowed to touch stuff in here, Kale. I'm just saying.
But I did have some trouble dealing with the liver cancer portion of it.
Yes.
Of course, I was very blessed that I got put on the transplant list in December, right before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then in September of the following year, I got a new liver,
Wow.
and I've taken care of it since then.
Good for you.
So, Curtis, I got a question for you.
One of
So,
the
I
reasons
mean,
I don't drink anymore.
a-
Yeah,
a-
yeah.
as somebody who is, what is it, immune compromised?
Immunocompromised.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So, how have you been taking care of yourself during this time?
Well, with the schools being closed, we're not allowed to be on campus.
Yeah.
And if I go in, it's on a very limited basis, and I'm not really seeing anybody. So I've been sitting at home and watching a lot of streaming shows on Amazon Prime, Hulu. I
Yeah.
don't have a Netflix account, but I've got several things that I've recorded that I've just been catching up on. And
But I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, I think last week, I mean, you're not so much worried about catching it.
no, I'm not. I take precautions on my health. I watch myself pretty well.
Right, right.
I keep a check on
And
my blood pressure.
like tonight,
pretty regularly
we're
and
trying to take
temperature.
advantage of the social distancing.
Yes,
you know,
we are.
so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have at the grab and goes and everything else that
Yes.
y'all have had here. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
as long as people aren't getting right up on me
Yeah.
that I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right.
If I'm spotting somebody that's sniffling or coughing or anything, I'm going to back away from them.
Right.
Are you a mask wearer?
It depends. Whenever I go out to places where I'm kind of expected to wear one, such as the grocery store,
Right. Post
I'll
office.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't go to the post office. I live out in the country, so my mail comes right to
Post
my house.
office.
Yeah. Post office.
Kind of showing your age.
Hey,
but
we
that's
ship
all
a
right.
lot of cigars out of our online store, oldstogiecompany.com.
I'm sorry. You
See
do.
how I slipped that
don't.
in there?
Yeah,
Yes,
I know.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But-
And
you,
luckily-
you do. You do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
you do. You
apologize.
deal with the post office a lot more.
Yeah.
But most of mine has been going into either HEB or Walmart, CVS to pick up medications occasionally.
Right.
And then lately I've been going in for blood tests because sitting around is not good for your body, especially if you're used to
Right.
walking
Right.
Right.
quite a bit during the day, which I've walked most of the day.
Yeah.
What do they say?
At the high
Sitting's the new smoking, and you do both.
Yes,
So-
and just sitting there in a recliner and just getting up to go to the restroom occasionally, refill my drink, get a bite to eat occasionally.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there, and I wound up with blood clots in my legs and
Wow.
pulmonary embolism because it threw a clot to my lungs.
Yeah.
And I wound up in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so I've been going into the hospital Monday, Wednesday, and Friday getting blood tests.
Yeah.
And luckily, they've just cut me back to where that I'm only going in Mondays and Fridays.
That's good.
But when I go in there, of course, I'm wearing a mask. They take my temperature, so of course, first thing I have to do is take off the mask, which means it's no longer clean,
Right.
Right.
which is defeats the purpose of the mask.
Yes.
If you're touching your mask and taking it off to do different things,
Yeah.
it's really defeating the purpose of having the mask on.
Yes.
Right.
I
The
agree.
mask is, for a lot of people, I think it's more of a psychological placebo effect, that they see somebody with a mask on and they feel a little safer around them, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And they see people that are walking around with no masks and are talking loud and stuff, and that kind of backs them off. That,
Yeah.
especially if it's people they don't know,
Right.
not used
right.
to being around,
Right.
which you're going to get that when you're into the larger stores and stuff.
Sure.
But even whenever I do make an occasional trip up to the high school, I first have to have my temperature taken, which
Right.
luckily they've got a forehead reader.
That's
So
good.
You know, I'm not to interrupt, but my current job, I'm not going to mention it, but one of the things I have to do is there's a certain place I have to go a couple of times a day, and there's always the sheriff's department there, and they're checking temperatures.
Right.
And I remember one day, put the thing up there in my head, and 3 seconds later it beeped. He looked at it and he goes, "You're kind of hot." I looked at him and I go, "You are too, but you're not my type." He just fell out laughing. I still had to stand in the corner for a couple of minutes until my temperature went down. But I mean, it was just because it was like 100-degree day. I mean, it just
Right.
within a couple of minutes I was down to 98. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
they took mine one day at the school. I'd walked in wearing a cap, and I took the cap off, and they took my temperature off my forehead, and they looked at me and said, "Are you feeling a little ill?" And I said, "Let me stand here for a little bit, and you can take it again."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm taking this hat off. It's going to have my forehead a little warm."
Yeah.
Right.
And just a little bit later, they took it, and I was back down to normal. So
And,
Yeah,
and that's what
yeah.
I told the sheriff that day. I'm like, I have a 20-year-old pickup truck. I go, I drive 4 blocks to get here. I go, the air conditioner's not going to be working
Right.
by the time I get here.
Yeah.
not
yeah.
in South Texas. no.
Yeah, it's on, but
Yeah.
It doesn't do the. It's not as effective with that short of a distance.
right.
So the funniest thing I saw today, I went to the post office to mail out an online order.
Cool. OldStogieCompany.com.
OldStogieCompany.com online order.
We'll just plug that all we can.
Yeah, just every
Yeah.
chance we get. But there was a person, two people in front of me that had no mask, and she had an envelope that was poorly sealed, and she said, "Can I borrow your tape dispenser?" And the guy set it on the counter, and the lady grabbed it, pulled it toward her, and proceeded to take tape and tape up the envelope. The guy behind the counter is wearing gloves. When she gets done, he grabs the tape dispenser and pulls it back. And then when I come up there, I give him money. He gives me the change. Now,
With the same gloves.
the same gloves.
The contaminated gloves.
Yeah.
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 It's the same thing as touching the mask,
Yeah.
talking on
And
your cell phone.
She
with
was
it.
scratching her butt just before that.
She
so-
was, yeah. But the point is, I understand the placebo effect of the mask. But the gloves, I think, are doing more harm than good.
They are. A lot. I've seen recommendations lately of don't wear gloves.
Yes, me too.
For this very
Right.
reason, because
Yes.
you go to the grocery store and
Well,
you
it
got on
just
gloves,
spreads it quicker
you're
and
touching
faster.
items here, you're touching
Yeah.
items there,
Yeah.
touching the cart, you're grabbing your cell phone, you're reaching up and
Well,
scratching an itch on your face.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're not washing your hands, so the virus, if it's out there,
Yeah.
sorry, is staying longer on the gloves than it would be on your hands.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you're transferring it to everything you touch.
Everything you touch. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's enough Corona.
That's true.
Yeah.
My
I want
Corona.
to hear about the cigar bid.
The cigar bid. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, Tomas Rendon mentioned that to me and brought it up one day. And I started looking into it a little bit, which I know y'all can't order from there to put stock here because you're
Right.
you're a reseller.
We're retailer.
You're
we,
retail.
Yes.
And while Shane's getting a drink, I'll go ahead and finish this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Did we have to bring that up?
Well, yes, because we are enjoying the bourbon there. I'm,
All right.
I-
You
I'm
enjoy it.
enjoying.
I'm gonna
I'm
walk
enjoying
away.
y'all enjoying the bourbon because since I can't have it myself, I'll take my pleasures when other people are imbibing.
You're living vicariously through our bourbon.
True.
Yes. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yes,
Good word.
but I
Bourbon?
started looking into the cigar bid myself, and you had had me sniff a cigar that you'd gotten a sample of, which was the Skipper by the Upsetters.
Yes.
And so I started looking to see if maybe they had some on
Yeah.
the site, and they did. And I was like, okay, well, I'll put a bid on this, and I wound up getting 3 of them for $5 each.
Yeah.
Which was a really good price.
It's a really good price. Now describe the Skipper.
The Skipper is a small Jamaican blend.
Mm-hmm.
He was Gilligan's boss.
It's not what most people think of when you would think about something coming from Jamaica.
Yes, true. True.
But it is a very pleasant aromatic cigar.
Yeah.
It's a pyramid shape, which is
Yes.
unusual nowadays in cigars.
It is. It is.
It's a small, short cigar, but
Yeah.
it's got a very good flavor, very pleasant aroma.
Yes.
Smoking it inside my house, that aroma just lingers.
Yes.
And I'll be walking through an area and I'll catch a little whiff
Mhm.
a couple of hours later and just get some of that enjoyment again of just the pleasant memories of that cigar. Very
Yes.
pleasant
Yes.
cigar to smoke.
A couple things there. First of all, the Skipper by the Upsetters is it's an herbal cigar, and as opposed to sweet or just a normal cigar. And don't think clove cigarette.
No,
But-
no, and you're
it's
saying
not
that
like
to
the
me.
I am
You're
saying that
you're
to
saying
you.
that
I'm
to
saying
me.
it to you.
It's
Yeah.
not like the bourbon infused cigars like your Moontrance or the Cherry
Right.
Bomb or
Right.
or any of those.
It's nothing like that. When they hang and dry the tobacco, they actually burn herbs in the
Underneath.
shed underneath, and
Underneath.
it absorbs
It
all
absorbs all
that
that
herbal smoke, and it's just beautiful. When
It
you,
is.
when you smoke that thing.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
nice.
I know you're looking at me because I was like, hey, this is kind of like the clove of cigars. But
And I was appalled.
no, but I didn't mean it in a bad way. I mean, I hate clove cigarettes. I really do. I can walk into a bar and go, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, I can smell a clove cigarette from across the room.
Well,
but
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Which even recently, my nephew has asked me, which he's an Army veteran, teaches teaches a license to carry class at the VFW in Port Lavaca.
Yeah.
So he was interested in getting into cigars, which they've started carrying some cigars there at the VFW in Port Lavaca.
Yes.
And somebody had told him to try doing the Cuba,
Yes.
and had given him one of those, and
Yeah.
he kind of liked it, but he was asking for my recommendations, and y'all being closed at the time, I wasn't able to send him over here or for me to even come by to pick up a couple of cigars to
Yeah.
try to get, but I gave him some recommendations of some things to try if he went to the little liquor store down the road here,
Right.
where he could pick up some cigars. And this past week I was in town and I had been at the Grab and Go and had picked up an upsetter for him as
Yes.
well as one for me.
Yeah.
Actually the Skipper.
Yeah.
And so I took it by to drop it off with him, and he said, well, you want to just go ahead and sit out here and smoke one now? And so we sat out in the yard and smoked a cigar, and he fell in love with that cigar.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good cigar.
It's a really good cigar.
And for somebody that wants some kind of flavor rather than just a straight cigar, that is one that I can highly recommend.
Yes.
Now, I'll tell you what, the first time I ever had one of those, and I've never, up until that point, had a cigar with a Bloody Mary. I just kind of thought, it doesn't even sound good to have a
Yeah,
cigar with
yeah.
a Bloody Mary.
Because the spice and the
Yes, yeah, and I like a spicy Bloody Mary. In fact, when my wife and I are cooking dinner, I'll look at her and I'm like, you want salad with dinner? She's like, yeah, so I'll give her a Bloody Mary. We just call it a salad. You
Oh,
know,
there you go.
it makes
Yeah.
it easier.
Sure.
But I think the first time I had an upsetter, I was just like, why not? Let's give this a shot.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed. I mean, it even went well with the Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
Yeah.
a lot going on between the two.
Oh, sure. Sure.
But-
yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've had it with a drink since then
Yeah.
that I enjoyed it as much that first time with the Bloody Mary. But, I mean, great cigar.
Yeah. It is. It's a good cigar.
I have found that it doesn't go well with my root beer.
Really?
Oh, well, I could
Oh,
see
I guess
that.
not.
The sweetness
the
versus the
sweetness
spice.
and the spice
Yeah,
just don't blend as well.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
still on the cigar bit, I had bought some other cigars through them and ran across one day which you had gotten interested in a bourbon that you'd been sampling some Fighting Cock.
Yes.
And I happened to spot a cigar on the site that was called Fighting Cock. And
Should we tell that story?
As
You know,
a,
Let's
let's
tell
tell
that story. There's no reason to tell this story. He's telling
No,
a story
we're not
about
gonna-
cigars.
Well,
talking
just
about
let's tell the
cigars.
story.
Talking
The
about
cock
cigars.
story is
Cigar
kind
bit.
of
We
good.
can
All
skip
right,
No,
all
let's
right,
not
all
even
right.
go
Y'all can
there.
save that for another
All right.
podcast.
All right.
We know Randy loves his cock and
I'm
Shane's
just
loving his
saying.
now as well.
Oh, yes, he is.
Do
I
what?
happened to give him some cock for his birthday. So,
Wow.
but y'all were up at I think it was Yoakum at
Now you're just bragging.
I think y'all were up at Yoakum at an
I
event,
wasn't.
and
I'm
I
just
was on my
saying.
way to Austin, so I stopped in to visit for a while before I went on to Austin.
Yeah.
And was talking to y'all about it and mentioned that cigar, and I noticed that it was there was some up for bid, and the price was at $1, so I put a bid in to go up to $5.
Yeah.
Well, when I left, that was right before I left there, and on my way to Austin, I kind of checked the price on it, and I got a notification that a new bid was in, and I looked at it, and it had gotten up to $20 already, and I
Good
went, okay,
grief.
no, we're going to leave this alone.
Wow.
But it was for a full box of the
Yeah.
cigars.
Oh,
So I started
okay.
checking
Well,
the
that's not a
price on
bad
it, and I found
price.
out
That's not bad.
well, retail price on that box of 20 was $34. So,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go above that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Cigar Bid is kind of the eBay of cigar.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is whenever people, it's affiliated with Cigars International.
Okay.
And
Well, it's
some of their
overstock.
other,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's
is it?
overstock.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're
they've
not
got a
selling,
few shops associated with them.
but I mean it's mostly overstock stuff.
This is mostly overstock. Whenever they have stuff that they've got in stock
Yeah.
that hasn't been selling well,
Yeah.
Now
they'll put
you
it up
know,
on
you
Cigar
know,
Bid.
Randy and I, we can get a hold of overstock really, really cheap, right?
No, absolutely.
Because we buy wholesale.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah. No, all right. Go back to the story.
But for
I'm sorry.
for the average person, the Cigar Bid site is a pretty nice site. I've
It
found
is.
some
It
really
is.
good buys on there,
Yeah.
and some cigars that are kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
And I've
So,
ordered. Some
I do have a
Maliwars
question
and some
about
other
that.
things.
About the cigar bid. So there used to be sites probably 10 years ago where you could buy stuff for pennies on the dollar. Do you
Yeah.
remember those sites?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
still around.
And it's like, hey, I just bought a 4K TV, 60-inch for
$98.
Yeah.
$12,
Yeah.
and you bid by the penny,
Right.
right?
Right.
Right.
But
Penny
what they
auctions.
don't tell you is that you have to pay $1.27 to get a penny, so you can
Yeah.
you can bid.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
your basically your
Each
penny
of the
is a
pennies that you're
chip.
paying for
Yeah, it's
costs
a
you
chip.
$1.20 something.
It's a chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I got a TV for $12. No, you got a TV for $1,400, Susan.
By the
All
time
right.
you paid for
I'm
each
just
of those
saying.
bids,
Yeah. Yeah.
But cigar
It adds
bid's
up.
not like that.
Cigar Bid is not like that.
All right.
It's more
Okay.
like eBay itself, that you
Yeah.
don't pay a thing for the bids until you win it.
Right.
And they're a limited time on each of the things, which they list
Right.
what the time frame
Which
is.
is
on
kind of like the sports that all we have right now is cigar bid. That's the equivalent of sports right now.
It's kind of parimutuel wagering. Yeah.
unless
it
you're
really
into
is.
the e-racing that some of them have been
Yeah.
doing, and somebody's even gotten suspended for language during that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the
Which
whole
I-
racist comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, said the wrong word.
Oh, gotcha.
And-
So it's like eBay. So you may get it or you may
You
not.
may not. Right.
Do you know where you can always go and order cigars and always get them?
I can always get them through oldstogiecompany.com.
And that's why you're our highest paid employee. Right there. Right there.
That, and I show up to the events wearing my old Stogie shirt, my old Stogie cap,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and I enjoy supporting the local businesses.
Well, and we appreciate you supporting local business. And listen, guys, wherever you are, support your local business.
Right.
I mean, if
No,
you've got a
hey,
choice-
wait.
What?
Now, there's one thing I kind of get a little tired of these posts that says, forget the chains, support the local small businesses.
Yeah.
I kind of get a little bit tired of them because my daughter works at a national chain. My wife has worked at a national chain. They're still part of the local economy.
They are.
You know
They
what I mean?
employ a lot of people in the
If
local.
you give up on Olive Garden to
Yeah.
go to, Judy's Tacos,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
But there's people that live in the community that,
That
work at Olive Garden.
At Olive Garden. True.
Yeah.
True. This-
So
this
I
is
mean,
very
you gotta.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a weird thing
It-
to figure out.
It's a balancing act.
Right.
And there are other exceptions to things like that. There's a Bush's Chicken, for one, that I know is locally franchise owned. That, yes, the chain is spreading throughout Texas.
Yes.
Same thing with Raising Cane. Somebody locally has to put money into that
Yes.
to
Right.
buy the franchise,
Right.
pay for the building,
Yes.
pay the employees, and they're supporting the local economy.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A
Mhm.
does the
Same way.
exact same way.
Yeah, it sure is.
There's a lot
It
of
sure
the
is.
places that,
Yeah,
yes, they're national chains, but this is all money into the local economy.
it is. It is.
Well, my wife for years worked at a national chain bank,
Yeah.
And she would talk to people all the time, like, "Hey, come talk to me." And she'd always, well, I don't want to say always. A lot of times she would get that. No, I prefer to bank locally, so my money stays local. She's like, where do you think I've been living? You know,
Exactly.
the money that I get paid gets back into the local economy.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a balance. There's a balance.
So I guess the point is instead of buying something off Amazon because it's $1 cheaper, go spend your money local.
Right.
Okay, I've got several.
Is that a common ground?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for example, I have a couple
Well,
places.
no,
that
I mean,
can-
you're supporting their local economy. Wherever that Amazon warehouse is that's sending stuff out, you're supporting their local economy.
Right, but there's a lot bigger risk that Judy's Tacos is going to go under than Amazon is.
Now, to give you an example, the cigar shop that I
But
mentioned in
they may
Houston
lay
and
off
Austin-
Judy at Amazon. What if they lay off Judy at Amazon?
They're not going to lay off Judy
There's
at
two
Amazon.
Judys. There's one at the taco place, and then there's
All right.
one at Amazon.
Listen, the taco place is Judy's, okay? She owns it. Let's call Amazon. Let's call her Karen.
All right,
Okay.
but I'm just
Oh,
okay.
not Karen.
Okay.
I'm tired
I mean-
of Karen.
I shouldn't. I'm just arguing to have fun, but I'm
I
just
know you
saying
are.
because
We're used to
we are a local smoke business.
We are.
Yeah.
Just
We
as
are.
an example of that, I deal with several online cigar retailers
Yeah.
that occasionally I'll find stuff that y'all don't have in stock,
Sure.
and
Right.
I haven't asked you to check on a price to try to get it for me.
Now wait. Now explain to people why we may not have something on our website because
Well, yeah, you have a certain stock of stuff that you always want to carry.
it's not that.
What?
we won't put anything on our website until we have tried it first.
Okay.
Right.
To make
That-
sure quality control.
Absolutely. There's
Well,
nothing
yes.
on our website that we haven't
Nothing
smoked.
on
Yeah.
on the
Yes.
website that you haven't smoked. Nothing in the trailer that you haven't smoked.
Exactly.
Right.
And you have
exactly.
introduced people. You've tried stuff, and then hey, I like that. So let's try to get some of that in here.
Yes.
And it has sold really well.
Or
And
we
people-
don't like it, and that's
it's
never
not
coming
coming
back.
in.
It's
here.
not coming in.
But if somebody asks you to get that for them for an online order, I'm sure that you would probably make an effort to get that for them.
Absolutely.
It depends who it is.
Pretty-
I'm
pretty-
sorry.
Wow.
We should have a
Wow.
business meeting
Yeah,
before
we
this.
should figure out the answers before you ask the questions. I'm just saying. But no, you're exactly right. And here's the thing. If you use the word Corona at checkout, you can save 20% off everything on the website. And that guarantees you the lowest price.
It does indeed.
That's true, isn't it, Shane?
and that's pretty much the lowest price on the internet.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's why I only order my
Well,
Southern Draw
we charge
cigars
like 80%
from
in shipping,
OldStogieCompany.com.
And we appreciate you very much. We
Yeah.
do. We do. So listen, guys, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to wrap this up. Sorry we went a little long, but we had a great guest, and so that's the way it works. So hang loose. We'll be back in a minute.
See you in a bit.
We are back, and again, we're the Old Stogies Uncut. I am Randy.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm Shane.
Hey,
And I'm
there he is.
Curtis.
Yeah, he's Curtis. Yeah, you got the whole staff here.
You should probably went with Curtis first.
Yeah, probably should have. Probably should have.
Well, I brought the introed the last segment.
Yeah, you did, and you did a great job.
Yeah.
Did a great job. Curtis, thanks, man. Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate y'all asking me to be on. I enjoyed it.
Heck yeah.
Oh, man.
I always enjoy hanging out with y'all.
Yeah, and
You're
so
going to
we-
be back. You're going to be back.
Oh, you're going to be
yes.
back. Yeah, that's for sure. So,
I
you know,
want more of those strip club DJ stories. That's
yeah,
what I want.
just the voice. That's the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be sure to tip your. No,
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't have the voice for it. I can pretend. I don't have the. Curtis? Give me the tip voice. What's the tip voice? Just the tip.
Yeah.
Oh, she's working hard for you guys. And does she have some pretty big brown eyes?
Perfect. That's great.
Oh,
That's great.
I love how you lean in. Brown eyes. It's fine.
Guys, in case you don't know, we have an online store. I don't know if we mentioned that. Did we mention that?
I don't recall mentioning
Several
OldStogieCompany.com.
times.
I don't know if we
but,
mentioned OldStogieCompany.com. Have we?
Several times.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, if you order, are we going through May? Are we doing this through May?
We can. It's a couple of clicks on my part.
All right. Let's do it through May. What do you think?
Okay.
if you enter the code at checkout, Corona.
Make sure you spell it correctly.
CORO.
I know some of you people.
Yeah.
Spelling's not a good.
No, spell it right. But it's just like the name of this plandemic that we're going through right now.
Plandemic?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you can't throw that out there and explain why you call it a plandemic.
That's another show entirely, and we don't have enough time today.
Yeah.
We have time. Go ahead.
Or this damn pemic. That's
All
what
right.
I've been calling it lately.
Lean into that a little bit, and then we'll touch on it the next episode.
I just think it's all too convenient. But whatever.
Democrats.
I'm
just
not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying it's all too convenient.
You're pointing all your fingers.
If I point any fingers, it's going to be overseas at that big communist country.
That's what I'm talking about. So, guys, shop local, shop American. Don't buy anything from China.
China.
Yeah.
Not even China White.
No. Buy it all American, and we'll all appreciate it. Again, Curtis, thank you very much. Go to our online store, oldstogiecompany.com. And
I don't think you told him what the percentage off was.
You didn't.
On,
it's 20% off
Right.
everything you buy. Now, listen.
which makes us the cheapest online right now.
Yes, it
the
does.
least expensive. We're never cheap.
Oh, all right. Well,
Most cost effective.
All right.
Most cost
I just got
effective. Now,
corrected.
listen, guys.
I just
that's
got
not
corrected
just,
on the air.
Oh, you did.
I used the wrong word.
That's not just on cigars. That's on merchandise. That's
Everything.
on humidors.
Everything.
That's on everything. And don't forget, when you go online, you can support this podcast.
Old Stogie Company, Uncut.
Absolutely. Because a podcast costs a lot of money.
It does.
And we appreciate your support. We really do. So if you want to continue hearing this, and even if you don't,
If you don't, we're not talking to you.
yeah,
Hang up.
By this time in the show, I think they want to hear us.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking if
If
they
you've
hung
made it
around
this
long,
far-
yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You are the target
I'm
audience.
just saying,
Yes.
yeah. They've either taken a business call and forgot about us, or they really like what's going on.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's the latter. And also, listen, guys, don't forget, this is something we're very proud of. We are an authorized distribution center for Cigars for Veterans.
Great program.
Great program.
Great program.
What they do is they take cigars and they send it overseas to the troops. These are not for veterans in the U.S. These are for active duty
to
military.
the people who are actively protecting us.
Yes.
Right.
The ones overseas watching out for your freedom, your liberty. So if you want to make a contribution to them, we would be happy to accept it and forward it on so that those cigars can get in the hands of the people that deserve it the most.
And let's point out, we don't make a nickel
Nope.
off of that.
We don't make a nickel
We
off
make
of
4.5 cents.
that. What?
I'm just kidding.
4.5 cents.
And it is
Nickel,
not
I
just
guess.
something
Yeah.
locally.
But
This
no,
is a
I'm saying
national
This is a
campaign.
national campaign. It certainly
national
is.
campaign.
And,
We make absolutely nothing off
no,
this.
we don't.
This
And
is not something for us.
no, we're
This
doing
is-
it because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can also contribute to that, and we would appreciate that very much. In fact, once everything gets back up and rolling, the last Saturday of every month, we're doing an event
Right.
with the local
Adam.
Adam Daughtry. Adam, how you doing? Local Cigars for Warriors group, and we just think it's the right thing to do. And so,
And of course, anytime you come out to Stella and see the Old Stogies, you can make a contribution, and they will make sure that it gets to the appropriate place.
absolutely.
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah. What?
No, I'm kidding. I'm having.
No. Absolutely. It's all going to go to the Cigars for Veterans Association. Great organization, and we appreciate them and appreciate you guys very much.
Yes.
So, listen, we're going to call it a day for now, and you guys join us next time. And again, remember,
Smoke them if you got them.
and we got them. See you next time.
Shut up and sit down.
Old Stogies Uncut, brought to you by Old Stogie Company and produced by